Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to game number 25 out of 100 of my Revenge of the Mack series against the AI-powered Scrabble BestBot. It's been a little while since I was busy competing at Nationals last week. Now the catch is this video was pre-recorded before Nationals as I announced a little while ago, so at the time I am speaking to you, I have no idea what happened at Nationals, how I did or anything, but I hope you all enjoyed the coverage, and as I said before, I am currently traveling, visiting some family this week, so I'm not going to be able to record any new content. However, I will be coming to you guys with lots of Nationals-related content and recaps next week, so make sure you tune in then. In any case, tough start to today's game. BestBot opening with Marquise for 90, and I've got 3 A's, so definitely not the way I wanted to start my return to my BestBot series here, but it is what it is. All right, well, that takes an E, but I can't really do anything with that. Yeah, very rough position to start, goodness. I can't really score much at all. I mean, something like Aga here I think is just too reckless. There's the Saga hook, but there's also Raga, Naga, Gaga. Like, the odds that it doesn't have something are a bit too slim. I don't want to allow it to just completely run away with the game either. I think leaving Marquise open makes sense if I don't have a good play with it. Maybe something like Agria for 10? Yeah, it's probably decent. I mean, I hate scoring only 10 after my opponent scores 90, don't get me wrong, but like, what else am I going to do? I'm not going to play Aegis and Marquise, keeping 2 A's and shutting down my best line. This also creates another S hook. Agria does take an S, so probably as good as I'm going to do. And I draw more E's. Definitely not what I wanted here. Now I probably will play Marquise and Esh, just because that does score better, and it sets up Marquises as well. Of course, this is assuming the bot doesn't play there itself. But we will see. Yeah, I really don't have a whole lot of other options. I mean, I definitely want to get rid of 2 of these E's. I guess Mache here for 24 is as good as I'm going to do. Otherwise, it does keep 2 E's, which isn't great, but it's not awful. It does set up another hook. Yeah, I'm going to need to be playing catch-up here, making sure I'm doing a good job at keeping this board open as best as possible. Even something like each over here. Again, this is all assuming Marquise gets blocked, so we'll wait and see what BestBot does. Hopefully I can just play there. Okay, it plays Gowns for 17. Not too unhappy to see that. Let's see. Oh, I have cheesage. It's like the amount of cheese on a pizza. Now, sadly, that's not a word. I'm making that up. Bummer. Okay. Well, I guess this is going to have to be the best play then. All right, that's the kind of draw I needed here. I have Apercus, Apercus, and Scalper, Scauper. Apercus is going to play with Marquises, for that's probably over 90. Well, not anymore. Okay. So the bot goes up 102, but I will be bingoing. I might have to play Apercus and Eshes, I guess. 72 points. Yeah, Scalper doesn't fit. That might be my... Is that my only playable bingo? Is that possible? Let's see. It doesn't fit with Agria's Purchase. Doesn't fit with the H. Anything through an M? Campisser? That's not a word, right? I don't think that's a word. Huh. Yeah, I think Apercus might legit be my only bingo here for 72. Well, it's still a bingo. It'll get me back into this game, so I will go ahead and play that. And okay, that's not a bad draw. An eye away from Filthier. Don't have one right now, but hopefully the bot opens. Drank for 23, so the bot probably low on vowels there as it plays off 4 consonants. Okay. Let's see what I want to do. The spot next to the GO is jumping out. Something like Flit is not bad, honestly. 32 points. Keep the H for Goth if I can get... I mean, I'd need like another T or something. I don't think Fleur... No, I don't want to give back Gore. Even though I have an E, there's just too many other E's left. I feel like that is not in my best interest. Probably Flit is better. There's also 5 T's and 2 R's, so I'd rather get rid of the T. Just from the standpoint of trying to avoid getting duplicates. A fun idea here. Probably not quite right, but not crazy. Regolith for 34. Keeping just an F is quite a bit worse than keeping FER, so or HER rather. So I think I'm going to go with flit over that. Also, float's an F instead of an H, which is slightly harder to use for the bot. Another very reasonable play here is frith for 33. Does keep the board a little bit tighter, but I am down, so I don't really mind playing flit here. And F is not that scary. Yeah, I like EHR better than ELR too. It should still bingo some amount of the time, and the H is going to at least help me score and bail me out of having like these miserable 1-point tile racks. So I think I like flit. Yeah, Drank does not take an S, unsurprisingly. So that is not an opening. But yeah, I like setting up Goth for sure. I'm really not worried about this F. If it plays for like 24 from this F, I'm actually kind of happy because then it gives me lines for 8s, which I probably need at this point in the game. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play flit. And okay, that looks like a decent draw. Oh, I almost have superhero. Okay, ouch. I was not expecting futs. That was a bit more than I wanted it to score, but okay, we'll deal with it. Damn, yeah, I almost have superhero. If the U were like 2 spots further up. Also, Euphroes, EUPHROES. Not gonna fit. Nothing with a T. Almost Oosphere, OOSPHERE. No, I don't think I can bingo here. Re-hopes is not a word. Just fuzz 34, keeping a decent leave. I don't love keeping 2 E's with 7 E's still out, though. Actually, this is a good fix for that. Yeah, I often struggle to see this word. It was just added, but this is clearly better. Yeah, I mean, 36 keeping ERS. Unless I can find a bingo here, I think it's going to be hard to do better than that. Yeah, and they're just not at bingo. Nothing. It would have to be through an A, an M, or a 9, or I guess like from a K, through a K. That's just not going to happen. Yeah, all right, Feo it is. And that is not quite going to cut it for a bingo. I don't think. Definitely glad I at least got rid of that E, though, or I very well might have ended up with 5 vowels, which would have been much rougher. Something like book is interesting. I think it's just not going to work, though. This sets up ebook. There's too many E's left, and even if it doesn't have an E, it can just play under here for a big score. So I think that's the kind of play, even at a deficit, like while I do need to keep this board open, that's just probably going to backfire in a bad way. It's just going to give the bot an easy 40 or 50 point play that blocks while padding its lead. Like, you need to open in a smart way, guys, when you're down like this. You don't want to just open in a way that's going to get blocked easily for points. And that's now out of the question anyway after it plays Narky. Oh, but that sets up an S-hook. Huh. That's interesting. So do I think the bot has the other S? I mean... Huh. Very interesting. So do I... Now the question is, do I cash in there? I mean, I don't have much. Like, Bros for 37 is not particularly good. I think there's a decent chance it has the other S, but it's not a guarantee. I mean, it scored 40 points, guys. Like, that's the kind of rack. Like, if, let's say you had Narky keeping, like, ANR or something, just like an extreme example. Like, what else are you going to do? It's 40 points, and it cleans out your rack. I mean, Yarn next to this O, sure, but it scores 12 less, and it still opens a triple. So it's not like that's much better. Like, I could easily see Narky coming down without an S. I think I need to be a little bit greedy here, being down 70, and leave that open. I think it's better to not play there right now. So probably something down here, like Oba. I think Obo, actually. Yeah, there's so many E's left. I think I'd rather keep ARS than EORS drawing into this pool, especially with all those I's and E's out. Yeah, I think this is probably fine. Pool is also slightly vowel heavy. Once again, the regular reminder, guys, that yes, I know there are less vowels than consonants, so you're like, wait, what are you talking about, Mac? It's not vowel heavy. Well, the game starts 42 vowels, 56 consonants, so anything that is less than that steepness in favor of consonants is technically vowel heavy, and 21 to 23 is certainly less steep than 42 to 56, so that is technically a vowel heavy pool, in case you're wondering. But yeah, Oboe is probably what I'm going to do here. I think it's better than ABBA, but it's close. Yeah, if there weren't 7 E's and 6 I's left, I'd probably play ABBA, but I think this is better here. So nothing better. I do like opening this line. Scores at least some points. Hold on, do I have, like, something here, though? I guess the only tile I have is an A. Yeah, Bona is not. That would be such a good play to set up the S, too. Dang. That would be a really good play. Too bad P-E-Y is not a word. Yeah, I guess I don't really have anything there. I mean, I'm not going to play Eben and block my snarky hook, which I want to keep open. Yeah, I think oboe is probably right. I just feel like there might be something better, but there probably isn't if I haven't seen it by now. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, that's the exact kind of draw I needed. I have Signora, Soaring, Oregans. So Oregans and Snarky is certainly optimal, but I've got other options. Unfortunately, so Zingaro is a word, but it does not take an S. The plural is either Zingari with an I or Zingare with an E. So that is not an option, sadly. That would score a heck of a lot of points. I can bingo with Soaring above the O and the E. I can also bingo with Organism to this M. I can bingo next to the O of Feel, although that's definitely going to be worse. So we'll see what the bot does. Again, okay, so it does block Snarky, which I'm not surprised. So probably didn't have an S. Yeah, probably just had one of those racks where it's like you either play Narky or for 40, or you just do, like, nothing. So, all right, yeah, I guess it's between Organism and Soaring down here. Now, Soaring does take an S, so keep that in mind. There is still an S left. I mean, this is going to make the game very dependent on who gets that S, or possibly the blank, which is not a terrible thing for me. But other than that, it does close the board down a lot more, since it takes out the lines above oboe. Organism to the M definitely keeps things a lot more open for bingos, that's for sure. They score the exact same amount of points, and it basically ties up the game. I'll be up 2, although the bot's going to be up a tempo, so I'm still kind of at a disadvantage. The bot just played Loot, which is interesting, so probably had a bunch of one-pointers, although it just drew 4, so its rack is still fairly random. I guess it's possible it did have the S with that and just didn't have any good plays. It didn't want to play like Lust or something. So it's possible it didn't. It does have the S. Yeah, I feel like I should play Organism here. I mean, Soaring, it's interesting. Like, Soaring is definitely the type of play that to me is like you're admitting you're at a disadvantage because you feel like you just need to take a risk and make this game just hinge on who gets the S. Which, I mean, is not a terrible idea here. But I still think there's enough of a chance the bot had the S with Narky. I'm not sure I want to make that commitment or feel like I need to. Like, I feel like Organism is just a little bit... Like, it just leaves a bunch more avenues open. I mean, like, I don't know. I just hate playing games. Unless I have to. I generally hate playing games where it's like the outcome generally hinges on who gets one tile. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like a great way to play if you don't have to play that way. Like, if I were still going to be down 50, I could more easily see that. Although, again, like, if that gets blocked, then the board is a lot more shut. Organism keeps the board wide open. I don't necessarily mind, like, a wide open shootout board, especially against BestBot. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Organism. Let's see what happens. Well, I didn't get the S or the blank, so definitely happy I did this now. Fernie through the R will score well. 38. I've got the F here too, although nothing all that strong. Let's see. Yeah, probably just Fernie over here through the R is going to be correct. But we'll see. The bot could easily go there. It looks like it's taken some time, so we'll see what it comes up with. Wave for 34. Okay. Well, that probably changes things, because I should have something here now, right? I mean, I defeated for 56. Hard to argue with 56 points. I'm surprised to see that come down, although I guess from the bot's perspective, the D... There are 3 Ds left, so yeah, I don't know. A little surprised to see that, but that makes me think it most has like a good rack and it's trying to distract me and play on the top left, but I mean, I have to take 56 points. And it could also have had just like IE with that or something and just had no other good plays. It's possible. There is also the F here, but I'm not really seeing much. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting rid of this Y, although the Y is not a terrible tile here for scoring at least. I mean, there is this. I'm not going to give up 9 points to keep EF over NY, especially in a Val-heavy pool, actually. NY is probably even a better leave, if anything. It's not like FE is that great. I'm not too worried about getting into consonant trouble, drawing into that pool. Yeah, I think feated is just too many points. I think it has to be played here. It is 56. Okay, pretty happy with that draw. Pulling the S. There is still that blank looming large. Plenty of bingo material left. Also scoring material, JMV. Oh wait, I have a bingo. I have Bryany's through the R if that stays open. I just realized that. Okay. Certainly might not stay open. If it stays open, I'm obviously going to do that. But we'll see what the bot does here. I mean, this board is wide open. I knew this is what I was getting into with Organism. I mean, you got the bottom open here. You even got potential 6s could be devastating too. Like, I mean, even majors burning the blank is like 70 points. There's a lot of danger there. There's obviously danger above the E. There's plenty of danger through the O and the R of Organism, even through the G and the A. Bingos can fit. There's, you know, this is not that great a scoring spot, but you could drop a Vin for like 30. Nice way to clear out some clunky stuff there. Okay, Jerd comes down, so Bryany's unfortunately does get blocked, which is not surprising, but a bit of a shame for sure. And we have an even game, 10 in the bag, 339 each. What do I do? Oh boy. Bong jumps out, but EISY drawing into a slightly Val-heavy pool is kind of a bad leave. If I draw another I, this rack is horrible. Ys really don't go well with Is unless you're very constant heavy otherwise, like ILTY and stuff like that. So I'm not a huge fan of Bong. How about like... is it crazy to just blow up the rack and play boonies, leaving 4 in the bag? Is that insane? Maybe? 4 in the bag is not a terrible number to leave. This should win. I think this should win most games. Maybe not all, but most games where BestBot does not bingo. So it's not a terrible idea. I mean, I could also consider trying to block some bingos. Like, I mean, there's a lot of really good bingo letters left. Boonies is probably not ever really going to outrun bingos that score 70 points. Yeah, I have a hard time imagining Boonies outruns bingos. Problem is, if I block, then do I lose more games by trying to block and then getting outrun otherwise? Huh. Very tough turn. I have 5 minutes. Okay, I wish I had a little more. But I don't. There's like Boney here. Again, IS is not an amazing leave here, though. Yeah, 5 in the bag. I mean, there's still stuff I have to worry about. I mean, like, Devout here and things. I don't know. Wow. Very challenging turn. I mean, Boonies is definitely the most forcing play here. Because, like, that should win most of the time when the bot doesn't bingo. It also gives me the most chances to draw the blank. Like, I don't know how useful the S really is here, I'll be honest. I mean, because it's hard for me to set up the S without having, with a blank still unseen. Here's another idea. This is probably crazy. This is a crazy move. So setting up Ebony, leave 7 in the bag. So the idea is that if the bot bingos, I could maybe bingo out and win. I mean, EINS is a nice leave. I don't know, guys. That's a crazy looking move. Problem is then it's like if the bot plays a 5 or something with Ebony and scores and I don't have a bingo, then it's like, what am I going to do? Like, do I bingo enough to justify playing this? And then it could also not bingo, then I'm in the same situation where if I bingo and it bingo's out, it can win. I don't know. That feels like a mess. I feel like this is the kind of situation when it's like you're not in that great a position and you have to just play the forcing move, which is boonies. And like if it bingos, it bingos. But I don't love my position that much after Boney here. I mean, 5 in the bag. It's not great timing. Then I could also run into, like, if it plays Vin and leaves 3 in the bag. That's kind of awkward for me. Like, Boonies, I think, at least scores enough that if it... I mean, the problem is it could, like, fish on the left then, too, and then leave me 2 lines to deal with. Like, every play has problems here. So it's like, how do you decide? It's very difficult to know. Like, EINS is going to bingo a lot in return for me. Why is hardly ever going to bingo back for me? So with boonies, I'm kind of going all in on BestBot not bingoing. So the question is, do I want to try to bingo or stop BestBot from bingoing? I think that's what it really comes down to here, honestly. I mean, with that blank left, it is kind of scary. I also have to make a decision. I'm down to 2 minutes, and I don't want to be out of time in the end game. But yeah, this is very tough. Very, very tough. Yeah, I mean, Booney should outscore anything that's not a bingo. There is something to be said for that. And I just don't feel that confident about Boney outscoring. So I think I'm going to go with Boonies. Like, the S is just not that useful a tile here. Boney is a very interesting idea, but I think there's just too many racks so I don't bingo and I have all one-pointers. I'm going to score. I'm going to do this. Well, that was a very good draw. And that was part of the upside of Boonies, was, again, more turnover for that blank. Not even so much for me to get it. I mean, obviously, it's nice to have it. I don't think I'm going to be bingoing with this rack. But more to deprive BestBot of it, honestly. So, all right. Well, now I'm definitely winning this game if BestBot does not bingo. I mean, I must be. I should be able to easily outrun stuff like Van. Moat? Moat? Why would it empty? What? What does that do? That could not have been the right play. Well, I don't know. All right, let me just focus on not screwing up here. Hold on. That's very weird. I don't really have... Does the bot have any big plays there? No, and I'm up 18. Okay, as long as I can go out in 2. I mean, I would just like Juicy. I don't know if that's optimal. That should win. I don't really have anything here. Yeah, I mean, Juicy. I guess it's going to play Avid. I probably shouldn't allow Avid. There's no... I just have to not give it an E for Divalent or something. Let's see... Or just YE? Yeah, it was just like YE, maybe. I mean, it's saving Juicer and... Oh, Seur, S-I-E-U-R. I mean, that wins. Like, what's it going to really do? There's definitely no 6s it can have here, so there's nothing to really be afraid of. It's going to probably play Van. And I don't really think that I can block Van in a way that saves me an outplay. So I probably just do this, let it have Van, and then go out with Juries or Juicer, right? Yeah, this... I don't know if it's optimal, but I'm running out of time and it's fine, so I'm going to do it. BestBot is thinking? I'm a little surprised it's thinking. This should be a pretty straightforward endgame, you would think. Right? I mean, I'm going out, so it should be a straight-up net calculation. I'm shocked BestBot isn't moving instantly. Am I missing something? Why is... Yeah, I mean, because it can't stop me from going out. I mean, I have Juicer here and Seur. S-I-E-U-R. That's definitely a word. Like, BestBot should be able to figure this out instantly. It's only one step. Like, it's you make your move, your opponent goes out. So why is it taking a lot of time? This is very strange. A little concerning, but like, not that concerning because, like, I'm just winning. This is so weird. I've never seen BestBot take more than like a second or two for an endgame where its opponent is going out by force on its next turn. Because like that just simplifies things so much because there's no setups or anything like that to worry about. You can't possibly set yourself up because your opponent's going out. So like this is the simplest kind of endgame possible. You just look at the different plays, calculate how many points are you getting, how many. Okay, now it finally settles on Vin. I don't know why that took so long, but okay, I'm just gonna go out with Juicer for 14, and I'm gonna win 418 to 382. So that was a very satisfying win, guys. Nice to get the comeback, especially after the bot opened with Marquise for 90 and I had 5 vowels. So just a good reminder, never give up. Scrabble's a long game. Even if it's a rough start, there's plenty of turns, there's plenty of time to come back. You got to just stay calm and make the best plays you can. Give yourself the best board and the best chances you can to make the comeback if you get what you need. You do need to get a little lucky, which I did, but you got to put yourself in the right position too. So all right, let's take a look at this one. Yeah, like I said, bot opening with Marquise. I don't know. I mean, it is 20 more. I guess that's a lot. This just feels horrible. I think Agria is reasonable. I don't know. 20 points is a lot to give up, but I mean, you're down. I'd almost rather be down 80 on this board with AES than down 60 on now a board that's less open, keeping AA. I don't know. Tough to score 10 after a 90-point play, I know. But like I said, you have to be kind of patient. The bot doesn't play down. It plays gowns. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually, blocking Marquise and the S with a lead. Etch looks forced. Lux looks kind of forced. Apricot's only bingo. Good. Okay. Bot had no vowels here. I figured more or less. Flit looks good. Yeah, I saw Regolith, which was cool. I think that's better than Frith. Futz was a nice bailout I happened to give the bot. Theo looks good. Glad I saw that instead of settling for Fuh. And then, yeah, it didn't have the S with Narky. I'm not sure how I feel about this play with this rack. I mean, it is a lot. Vanity, I mean, I might just play Viney here, guys. I don't know. I mean, yeah, you give up 15. I know that's a lot, but a couple of things, right? I mean, ART is obviously a much nicer leave than ITV. ITV is pretty bad, and ART is a very solid leave. You've got a bingo line on the right, too. So the leave is way better. Positionally, it's way better, too. I mean, Narky creates chaos here. You're forking the board when you're up. That's the last thing you want to do. You create Snarky with 2 S's and a blank left, and you create the bottom here, which you don't even have a vowel, by the way, to put next to the Y. It's really rough positionally. I mean, I get it's 40 points. It's very close. I mean, equity-wise, it's only about 4 or 5 better. I feel like positionally, the downsides here make up for those 4 or 5 points. I think I would play Viney, but it is close. I know it's a lot of points. So Abba barely better on equity, apparently. But again, that's not taking into account the vowel heaviness of the pool, 7 E's, 6 I's. I think Obo is the right call. I'm happy with that decision. Certainly worked out well. Yeah, tough call between Organism and Soaring. Oregons here doesn't really make sense over Organism. Like I said, I wasn't prepared to put myself in a position where the game becomes super S dependent. Let me just make sure I'm not going crazy. Soaring does take an S, right? Yeah, it does. Okay. I should know that. I just reviewed all the INGS words before Nationals. Yes. It's not crazy, especially against BestBot, where I might be a very, very slight underdog, especially down to tempo. But, like, I don't know. I just hate games, like I said, that hinge on solely who draws a single tile. I don't know. I think Organism's fine. JT, interesting play. Yeah, I guess Feeded was a pretty bad case scenario for the bot. I mean, if I have an E, there's so many E's and D's left, though. Like, this does give back a bit. Yeah, Jaw here is... I feel like I would have gone with Jaw. I guess it's also thinking it could maybe get a play here, although... Like, what? Jete doesn't even fit. Jotted is kind of a long shot. I don't know. I mean, I guess you do get more turnover for the blank. I probably would have gone with Jaw, but Wave isn't crazy. Yeah, Feeded is too many points. That has to be right. Jerd over Jado? Really? I mean, I'm not sure I'm convinced there. Like, DDIT is pretty bad, but it's not like ADTT is good. 9 points is a lot in this close a game. I mean, this ace spot is not that risky, right? Like, I don't know. I'm not sure I'm convinced about this. I think I would have probably played Shadow here, but I mean, the bottom sure has its reasons. Okay. This was the most pivotal turn of the game, I think, for me here. I have options. I mean, yeah, there's plays like Boy. To me, this isn't great. Like, if I'm gonna block, I think I should play Boney to give myself more turnover. Like, if I'm gonna block, then I'm kind of going all in on blocking and not caring that much about how strong my leave is for bingoing. Because what's the point in keeping a bingoing leave on the board where there's nowhere to bingo anymore, right? So I don't know. I just felt I wasn't in a good enough position to sacrifice to block. With stuff like Divert, Devout here still a threat, and Boonies does a much better job at outrunning those kind of plays by virtue of keeping the Y to score with. And again, it does give me more shots at the blank. So it's a weird looking play. I know spending your S for not that many points, and it's way down on equity. I guess not way down, but a bit down. 34 is a lot more than 22, and keeping a Y, like the Y might almost be better than the S in some endgames here, just because it is a 4-point tile, and there's very few good Essex on this board. Like that's why, especially late in the game, guys, you have to go beyond equity as you become a better Scrabble player. Like, equity starts to matter much less as you get into the pre-endgame and especially the endgame. What really matters is what's the situation, what does the board look like, and what tiles go well with what the board has to offer. That's really all that matters. And in this case, the S is just not that big an asset. I think Boonies was a good call. I'm happy with that decision. Again, this play, this felt like it could not have been right. Like, this, I don't understand, because you're emptying the bag. So if you're threatening a bingo through the A, I'm going to block it. And if you draw let's say you draw EIR blank, okay? That's like the best draw possible here. Are you even winning? So you have Divert for a lot and Durative, but I could probably outrun those, right? Maybe? Divert is a lot. 8, 9, 48. So that would put it at 355, 403. So I need a 30-point out and 2 that blocks Durative. Is that not... Maybe it's not possible? It might not be possible, I guess. I don't want to spend too much time thinking about it. So yeah, I guess maybe in that case... How about Yule here, though? YULE. Doesn't that win, then? Unless it has a bingo through the U, but outdrive Durative, no, it doesn't, I don't think. Yule is probably enough, right? So, all right, so I'm just, again, if the bot doesn't win with its best possible draw, that would tell me this has to be a bad play, I feel like. So that's why I'm going through this. So EIR blank again. So it's down, it's at 355. Yule is 20. So that puts me at 393. Divert puts it at 403. So I would need 10 with AIN. Maybe I'm not getting that somehow. Gain here is 10. So then that would tie if I didn't miss something, which is very, very possible. Yeah, I think that might be a tie in that line. Again, that's just one possible line. I'm not positive I'm playing this endgame out correctly or even doing the math right. But if the best possible draw seems to just be a tie, I don't know, there's got to be, what if you just play Van and then try to draw E blank? And you have modeled on the bottom. This also scores better and puts some more pressure on me, making it a little harder for me to just block. If you draw E blank, do you not have anything through the A, I guess? Yeah, I guess not, but you also just have much better endgame timing now because you're not emptying. And now it's if I am, if I'm struggling with my rack and I can't score much, now maybe you can actually draw something here that scores enough to win, because now you're actually within 7 points and not emptying the bag. Van just feels like it's so much better. This just blocks. That's bad. I get that. But yeah, this isn't, there's not a lot of good plays here. But surely Van is better than Moat. This does everything you'd normally want to not do. Number 1, it empties the bag. Number 2, it keeps garbage. Number 3, and possibly most importantly, it blocks by far your best bingo line. So, what am I missing here, guys? I don't know. Maybe there's maybe EEI blank going for sedative wins for it, because then I don't have as much to come back with. I don't know. I mean, maybe there's a couple draws there that'll win barely in the end game. I don't know. I'm not gonna. This video is already 35 minutes long. I'm not gonna spend 10 more minutes trying to go through all the end games. Yeah, maybe if it draws EEI because I don't have Yule. Sure, maybe it wins if it draws EEI blank. But like, I don't know. I mean, Van certainly complicates the game a lot more for your opponent. Like, even if theoretically somehow Moat wins more against perfectly optimal play, which I am not convinced of by any stretch, Van has to do better against most humans. I mean, leaving 2 in the bag is a max stress situation for your opponent because they have to empty. There's 36 possibilities for them to consider, and now they're like, oh, well, crap, what line do I block? Do I even block? Can I even block? Am I up enough? Like, after Moat, your opponent knows exactly what they're dealing with, and like I did, it's very easy for me to just see what the threats are and go out in 2. Oh, whoops, I missed 2 Yer. That's sloppy as heck, though. I think I was just so busy being incredulous about Moat that I missed 2 Yer. That's just way better. Yeah, this is a horrible play. That's really bad. Okay. Yeah. So other than the end game, I played well. And yeah, maybe the bot was just incredulous after I played YE. They're like, hey, Mac, why didn't you play 2 Yer? That it took a while before playing Vin. Yeah, I don't know with Moat. If I'm missing something and you guys see why I played Moat, then let me know in the comments, because that's such a weird-looking play to me. I don't know. In any case, good game, good comeback. Happy with how I played other than the sloppy end game, but that's all right. I played well when I needed to. Good to come away with a win, especially after choking a little bit 2 weeks ago in my games. So back on top by 3, 14-1 through the first 25. Good stuff today. Hopefully we get another win on Wednesday, guys. Thanks for watching as always. Appreciate your support, and I look forward to seeing you for game 26 on Wednesday. Bye-bye.